evening. Haiti Oropesa with Florida You Judge, and I'm joined today by the beautiful one, Michelle Williams, Pastor Elvis Piggot. We have Stephanie Poyner, and Stephanie, you're muted, by the way. And it's 8 o'clock, and we've scheduled to discuss today the announcement, the headline yesterday that came out that Tampa City Councilman Orlando Gudes, the lawsuit that had been filed.
Can y'all hear?
Can you hear
I can't
me?
hear nobody.
Okay, that's odd. Could you hear me, Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, and I can hear you. Stephanie, can you hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you.
Turned up.
Maybe take off. Do you have headsets? Do you have headsets, Elvis? No?
Can you message him? He can't hear us.
Oh, he's muted.
Ooh.
You're
Yeah,
okay.
I
So how about now, Elvis? Could you hear me now?
Y'all can hear me, but I can't hear y'all.
Do you have
I
it
can't
on?
hear you. I can read your lips though.
Okay.
That means his speakers are off.
Maybe are your speakers on?
Do I need to go out, hide it, and come back?
Try that.
Let me go out and come back.
Okay. Okay, so sorry about that technical difficulty. It happens. I'm gonna in the meantime, let's go ahead and tomorrow is a huge day in the Black community, East Tampa. Hold on, let's see. How about now, Elvis? Can you hear me?
Nope. No sound on my end.
Maybe use another device.
No
Could you get on use another device? Could you use another device?
I got no sound. I wonder why. Your speakers on? Let's check. Let me see. Oh. Let me see. Maybe it's me.
Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to
I'm in there. The volume was down. That's why.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear us now?
I hear y'all beautiful.
Oh, thank you, God.
Thank
you. It's always stressful when that happens and you're on live. Okay, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share. And now where'd Michelle go? Okay, so we're gonna, with no further delay, we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to share tomorrow. Candy Lowe of Tea and Conversation and the Black Business Bus Tour. It's gonna be an incredible turnout tomorrow. Slated are a ton of candidates. We have Michelle Rayner, and Wingate Newton, District 62 State House. They're both candidates for that race. That's us. They're promoted. Thank you, Candy, for that. Janet Cruz, Senator Janet Cruz. Charlie Crist, he's a gubernatorial candidate. He's going to be there. He's confirmed. So has Senator Janet Cruz. We have the judicial candidates. We have Mike Isaac, Nancy Jacobs, Judge Jared Smith, Alyssa Whiting Bosick, Lynette Starr Brookins, Melissa Black, Belinda Noah, and incumbent Judge Wesley Tibbles. There's school board races. Karen Perez, Ali Legay, Damaris Allen have confirmed, and the county commission races in Hillsborough. These are all Hillsborough races. Angela Birdsong, Chase Harrison, and Joshua Wastall have confirmed that they will be attending. I know Kimberly Overman, I heard Candy, she had a live yesterday and said that she had confirmed that she'd be there. I know City Councilman Joseph Citro, who we're going to be mentioning tonight in relation and as related to tonight's topic of the dismissal of Orlando Gudes. We're going to mention him. But again, tomorrow, I saw Candy did put a promo flyer on Aramis Ayala, who used to be the state attorney in Orange County. I believe she's. Do you, Elvis? Do you recall what she's running for? She did put. Oh, there she goes. Okay, I'm glad I just stumbled upon that. So she is running for attorney general. Okay, she's running for attorney general here in Florida. She's um announced she's attending. So it's going to be a huge turnout, and I'm sure it's going to be packed. I would bet big that it's going to be packed. So that's that. Wanted to do that intro for tomorrow's candidate roll call. And let me add, Michelle, you fell off. So it's 8:07, and I wanted to do a quick kind of lead in into the discussion with a timeline so that the viewers they understand. We did at the beginning of the year when this first this news came out. It was around, I believe, April, sometime a little March. The headlines came out, and I'm putting this one on because in reaction to the headlines that Orlando Gudes, Tampa City Councilman Gudes, had been accused of sexual harassment, the Tampa's mayor, Jane Castor, immediately came out and said she'd fire him. So, I mean, the headlines just broke, and we didn't really know much of the facts. And so she's already coming out and basically rendering a verdict without the public and the process taking place of facts being heard. Also, Tampa City Councilman Luis Vieira, who's a lawyer, and Joseph Citro, they jumped on the bandwagon of the offensiveness of not waiting for due process to do its thing and for everyone to be able to hear facts and see facts and evidence before jumping to render an indictment, a verdict against someone that they're guilty. So the Florida Politics ran an article quoting Luis Vieira and Gudes. I have read the full report, which is 349 pages, authored by Trenum Law, which was paid about $100,000 by the city of Tampa to do that investigation against Gudes. Quite a lengthy report, 349 pages. I've read it too. I'm going to cite to it today so that the public can see the main points that I want to make. It from A to Z to base why my opinion has been from the beginning when the headlines came out to now when the lawsuit was dismissed, that there was nothing. I saw it as a political hit. Actually, I saw this as a political hit. This is Luis Vieira. I have read the full report on Chairman Gudes and sexual harassment. No person who behaves with women as detailed in this report should hold public office, much less chair city council. The statements detailed here are deplorable. This is, again, early on. More than anything, I salute the remarkable fortitude of the claimant for speaking truth to the power of her former boss. The steps taken by the claimant show courage and integrity. The claimant is a hero. She deserves our unapologetic support and demands for accountability. Council member Joe Citro echoed Vieira's sentiments. He also called on Gudes to step down and commended his former aide for coming forward. I am deeply concerned with the findings of the HR department of the city of Tampa regarding Chairman Gudes Monday. We take these findings incredibly serious, and we strive for a non-hostile work environment for all our employees. We must hold all our city council members to a higher standard of conduct, Citro said. In order to move forward and to maintain the trust of the people of Tampa, I believe that the best course of action would be for Chairman Gudes to resign. Citro's calling for his resignation early on, before all the we learned the public of the facts of this case. Go ahead. I want you to start, Elvis. What do you I want you to comment on. There are allegations, and then we have two fellow councilmen of Gudes already saying he needs to go. He needs to go.
Well, I will start saying it like this. Only in the United States of America is African Americans is guilty before proven innocent. Black people have to prove that they did not. That law, innocent until proven guilty, don't apply to Black America. Clearly, we see the mayor, Louis Vieira, and Joe Centro decide, especially the councilman, I want to outline both of them, that should owe this man an apology. They jumped on a bandwagon because they wanted to be relevant and they wanted to help assassinate a Black man. Every African American in politics has to go through this trial where if they don't do what the good old boy system tell them to do, they're going to find themselves under the hatchet. And I say it's a disgrace, and we've seen it on full display, where we have a Black elected official that's the chairman that could not even have due process before you had a mayor saying she would fire him, before you had the other city councilmen telling him to resign, before you had everyone saying you need to leave your seat. And I say to Orlando Gudes, yet still our city councilman, that he did what was right. Stand on the reality. The city pops up quickly and give $200,000 simply just to make him look bad, simply just to sabotage him, simply just to be able to say, this is what this councilman cost the city when it's time for re-election. But I say, I hope he run for re-election. He has the support of the community. And shame on Louis Vieira. Shame on Joe Centro. I talked to Joe on my own phone. And Joe Centro is nothing but a do-boy. He's going to do what he's told to do. He has no spine, and he's pathetic. I said to him, and I'll say it's a disgrace for how they treat Black America. And only in the United States of America where white people are innocent until proven guilty.
Stephanie, and this is the same man. I think Citro, he likes to pander to the Black community. He initially said he was not going to confirm Mary O'Connor, and then he did a 180, and then he did the very thing that he was pandering to the Black community that he was not going to do. Stephanie.
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and thanks for joining. Your thoughts. Your thoughts.
And wait,
so go ahead, and I think maybe Michelle, what do you got to say?
Michelle, I got you.
Well, first of all, I don't know what's going on with this service, but it's kind of weird that this is happening. I'm standing in agreement with Pastor Elvis Piggot on this situation, because the other councilmen and the other public figures and elected officials, they all got on the bandwagon, just as Pastor Piggot has elated and alluded to, that they were just trying to assassinate an African-American male. Just as we have seen so often, in the history of Blacks becoming elected officials, throughout the United States, Blacks go through some of the worst tests that other elected officials go through. When Mayor Jane Castor was the mayor, when she was the chief of police, she was scrutinized because of her sexuality, and she did everything that she could. And even before she became the chief, she jumped through hoops, through measures, to gain her lover's benefits. Laws were changed immediately through the LGBTQ plus community, which I'm elated for. But, this lady will stop at nothing to have her way. She has a proven history that she will not stop until she gets her way. She's like the redheaded stepchild who's in the corner throwing a temper tantrum, until she can have her way. And, and for her to, list a newspaper article in a heading stating that if she had the power, she would have him fired.
Yep, she did say that.
Some people don't deserve power. And, and at this moment, the citizens of Tampa need to have some type of reconciliation with one another to say, this mayor does not need to be the mayor, nor does she need to represent the citizens of the city of Tampa.
Okay, so listen, so we have a caller, and caller, what would you like to add to the conversation tonight? Hello, caller? Hello? Caller. Hello? Oh, I suppose she'll call back. Okay, very well. So thank you for that. And Stephanie, would you like to add anything?
Sure. Well, I asked initially, because there is an ethics code for the city of Tampa, and I initially asked who disclosed all the information when originally the first article came out in the Tampa Bay Business Journal, because our ethics code says that any person who willfully discloses or permits to be disclosed the intention of a filed complaint, the existence of contents, or of a complaint that is filed with the commission. Mind you, the commission met in April, and that was the chair of the ethics commission for the city of Tampa said that they had not had an ethics complaint in 4 years. So how does the city go and file and spend $100,000 of our tax dollars without taking it to the appointed ethics commission for the city? I don't get it. I still don't understand it.
It could have saved the city money.
Yeah, I mean, had they at least taken it to the ethics commission, which is made up primarily of attorneys, and I was looking in the code, I can't find it, but it's a very non-biased commission. They are appointed by the bar association. They're appointed by the universities in town. Only one of the 5 members is actually appointed by the mayor. So if this was such an egregious situation, why would you not take it to that board, which is a non-biased board and is going to make logical decisions based on the ethical values that are put out in our citywide ethics?
Maybe because you want to go pick someone
I don't know.
who might give a favorable report, maybe.
Well, and here's the problem. The problem is that the legal department has carte blanche to spend $100,000 without checking in with anybody, and they got it approved again this year. There are 26 law firms that were approved. I'll have to look at the dates next time somebody else is speaking. I'll grab my handy dandy city council binder and look up the date, where the city of Tampa engaged with 26 law firms to spend up to $100,000 apiece. Now, Mr. Massey explained at that point that there was only maybe $250,000 in that account, because I was really upset thinking it was $2.6 million. But the bottom line is, when the city engages like that, that means that they're tied up. Even if they never spend a dollar with them, they have this obligation to the city because they've accepted a contract with them. And so that's how Councilman Gudes ended up being investigated, because they had $100,000 in their pocket that they could spend without approval from city council.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go real quickly through and then conclude. But I just wanted to go real quickly through some of the pages on the report, the 349-page Trenum Law Report, just to give the public the ability to kind of understand this timeline and why most likely, well, actually the lawsuit was dismissed because, one, they argued immunity, that he had immunity, but also they argued that it didn't rise. The judge agreed with the Ryan Barrick, the attorney for Orlando Gudes, that it didn't rise to sexual harassment, the facts that they presented. So hold on a second. I want to go ahead and share this. Okay, I'm gonna try to go real quickly through this. This report is publicly available for anyone, but so let's just go real quickly, and I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as I can. Let's go to page 68, and we first have in 2020. Let's just let the public, I want them to understand this timeline. In 2020, October of 2020, This is Kelly Austin or actually it's from the complainant, the woman that alleged sexual harassment. I will not be able to meet today. The last minute notice. This was for 2019 allegations or 2020 allegations. We can reschedule for another time. Okay. We have then go back. We go to page 66. I'm so sorry you are unable to meet today, as it is necessary that we speak. I offer you the following dates, times. That's HR, City of Tampa, Kelly Austin, to the complainant. Again, we're in 2020. Okay, let's go now to 26. We have, I apologize. This is the complaint. I did not call you on Friday. It was very hectic. If you can call me today after 2:30, I should be available. Okay, so we go to 57. Friday was hectic. I didn't have a chance to call you. Da 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 da. Okay, so this is Kelly Austin. Feel adequate closure after the conversation. I thought I wish you would have said that I felt that way, but not worth. Okay. Let me see here. This is a call to her synopsis. Friday was a hectic day. Didn't have a chance to call you. I did call him. It didn't go as planned. He has an aggressive personality, likes to talk. He apologized, said he was joking, said if in the future to let him know immediately and hold it inside. I said, I might need to go on the hunt for something else. And da 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 da. Okay, he said he didn't want me to go, and if something bothers me, to say something. Feel adequate closure after conversation. I thought I wish I would. Okay, so let me see something here. Okay, so this is November 16, 2020. On or around October 14th, Chief of Staff John Bennett was contacted regarding a workplace interaction that occurred between the complainant and her supervisor. Chief of Staff John Bennett contacted the complainant and a meeting was held to include Chief of Staff Bennett. Subsequently, Human Resources met with her independently to complete the investigation into the matter. During the meeting, the complainant relayed an interaction with her supervisor that caused her discomfort. After recounting her concerns to Human Resources and receiving coaching on the matter, she agreed to speak to her supervisor about her concern, meaning Orlando Gudes. On November 16th, 2020, the complainant reported that she spoke to her supervisor on November 12th, 2020, Orlando Gudes. She believes that the advice she received from Human Resources was very helpful, and she now considers the matter closed. November 2020, closed. Human Resources remains available for any other concerns that may arise. Okay. So, 2020, it's closed. Let's go to 30. So now we fast forward to the beginning of this year. These things are resurfaced, and you'll see based on the timeline why it's problematic and suspect. This is Orlando Gudes' statement, responding, saying they were friends before they had the employer relationship, that the dynamic had changed, things that were a given, that it was okay, normal for interaction. All of a sudden, as an employee, this complainant is making an issue about it when it wasn't a problem when they were interacting socially as friends. So he says, for whatever he may have said that was understood as friends before that, it was okay interaction, conversational, it was no longer appropriate. And so for that, he said he was denying a lot of the things that they were saying, but he was saying some of the things maybe I shouldn't have said, because the dynamic between them had changed. So now let's go into 162, page 162. Okay, so this is March 31st, 2021. Okay. She's forwarding. She's in her duty as an aide to Orlando Gudes. She's performing her job, and it seems like everything's copacetic. In March 31st of 2021, that's in the report. Okay, that's just an observation that I'm making. And then so let's go ahead and see. Sometimes persons are speculative, or like as to in questioning why would the city of Tampa have an issue possibly to single out or kind of politically attack Orlando Gudes. March 31st, 2021, he makes an issue to the city with employment policies for background polygraph testing of Black applicants. I'm writing this letter in response to the latest email I received from a potential candidate for the Tampa Fire Rescue Department. Over the past few years, I have received countless letters from individuals who have been excluded from employment due to possible deception found on the polygraph test. The most recent was dated March 29, 2021, and sent to all the council members. I'm disturbed because this seems to be a trend amongst people of color applying for Tampa Fire Rescue and Tampa Police Department. Okay, that's one criticism. 2021. Then we have another one that he makes. So this is something like Elvis Piggot yesterday was commenting about. When you don't get along or go along to get along, there issues arise, especially with a Black leader. He's talking here about business or citing to a procurement system in Baltimore and taking issue with saying, look, there seems to be a problem with business procurement with as it relates to Black business persons. And so again, a criticism, something that he's raising. 108. Everything seems to be okay. This is an email in July of 2021 that the legislative aide, the complainant, sends everything. The working condition seems to be okay. What happens during the summer of 2021 is that she was tasked with setting up Buffalo Soldiers' appearance at a city council meeting. They were going to receive a commendation, and she basically dropped the ball. I'm assuming she was chastised, perhaps by Orlando Gudes for that occurring. And then she immediately, when that happens, asks for a leave of absence, goes to a doctor's office and says that she's going to be on a leave. On July 29th, 2021, Human Resources received a letter from a medical professional stating that the complainant was seen in his office on August 5th, 2021, and would need to be, and the dates there are a little bit screwy, need to be out of work until August 16th, 2021. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Okay. On the heels of that, of her dropping the ball, her coordinating the Buffalo Soldiers' appearance, takes a leave. Doctor's office calls HR and says, hey, the complainant's not going to be to work. What happens? HR nonetheless contacts her. Orlando Gudes sends a memo August 13th, 2021, and says, in reference to my aide, her name, returned from medical leave, I would like to ask that you locate a position possibly within the Parks and Recreation Department for her in light of her. So he's trying to help this legislative aide, okay, because of whatever concerns then all of a sudden arose with her medical situation. So this is October 4th, 2021. Hello, I am emailing you. This is from it's either from the attorneys doing the investigation or from HR. Hello, I am emailing you is because you asked me for, this is actually from the complainant to Trenum Law. I'm emailing you is because you asked me for dates, and some dates I could collect are the incident with my daughter at the Jackson Heights NFL Yet Center, and it was the Operation Conversation Community Sports Challenge event on Saturday, June 8th, 2019. Now, remember, the matter had already been closed in 2020. Now, fast forward, and this is being resurfacing
Talking about
because of the
something that
city
took,
making an issue of it.
talking about something that took place in 2019.
Thank you. That had already been closed in 2020. Okay. Now we showed two memos here, two documents where Gudes is criticizing the city with polygraphs and black people being kept from jobs with the TPD and also with businesses and the disparity with business owners, black business owners. And then all of a sudden she drops the ball, becomes whatever may have happened as her becoming stressed out because she dropped the ball, takes a leave of absence. The doctor calls HR and says, hey, she's not going to report for work for a time. And all of a sudden now, even though they should have just left her alone, they went ahead and they reached out to her and start trying to have these old matters that they had already closed. They wanted to revisit that again.
Find an opportunity to sabotage him. Get an opportunity to destroy him because he's advocating and fighting on behalf of black people, which he should do in the city. And it's a shame before God because there's accusations on them all.
And now listen to this. Listen to this. That's not bad enough. They're contacting her. Hey, get us information, get us dates, get us this on matters that had already been closed, that they themselves said were closed. She probably in November 3rd, 2021, she couldn't take it anymore. And this complainant at this point said, I do not wish to continue with this investigation. I have informed City of Tampa at HR that I am leaving and I do not want to do this anymore. Please stop. What does that sound like, Elvis?
They continue to rehearse, get her because they wanted her to deal with this. And can I say this real quick? Not it's on it, but I want the black community to stop allowing people to use you to go against your own people. This woman know good, as the old people will say, good tea well, that this was bogus, it was inappropriate, and they came out and just threw her $200,000. East Tampa is struggling. Gentrification is taking place. Silver Oaks, children don't even have a good place to lay their head. Homelessness is out of control. But we can go and take $200,000 and settle on something that the judge find has no merit. If that ain't political, I don't know what is.
I'd like to. Can I read this little paragraph from today's?
What do you make of that chronology, time wise, Stephanie?
Oh, it's jacked up. It's like potted meat, man. Okay, listen to this paragraph in La Gaceta. The city gave Gudes' former aide $200,000 in a settlement in May, but no lawsuit was ever filed. The mayor simply rolled over. The settlement never came before council. The amount was never approved by council. Unusual. In essence, the city attorney approved $200,000 check to Gudes' former aide because the mayor wanted her to. Last time I checked, the mayor makes the budget, but she doesn't approve the spending.
Listen, yeah, go, Stephanie.
The city agreed. I skip down a little bit. The city agreed to pay $200,000 a day before the aide filed a lawsuit against Gudes seeking $30,000 in damages. The agreement had the aide release all claims against the city and any employees, with the exception of Gudes.
How crazy! How crazy!
I'm sorry,
but disrespectful.
I'm sorry, but just yesterday at City Council, there was a big argument that City Council, that the legal department represents everybody in the city. So how do you do that? I don't.
But
I'm
you
sorry.
read it. You read it. When it's personal,
I'm confused.
when it's a vendetta,
I'm so confused.
Release everybody but Gudes. That made it personal.
Right. And okay, so they spent $300,000 on this fiasco, which is half of the money that was set aside for sidewalks in our city. How many people could have stayed in their homes with that $300,000? We're not even going to talk about the number of legal hours, the number of hours spent by HR digging and rooting around in somebody's business. For people who were friends long before she ever went to work for him. And as I have always told folks, listen, what you say at work and what you say at home are two different things.
Yep.
I would hate for folks to talk about what I have to say while I'm drinking next to my swimming pool.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Stephanie, because I wanted to say it, but I was holding my mute. If we go, I was trying to be nice, because if the truth be told, it's a whole lot of home conversations that's been had. And if you had put some cameras on half of us, what we say at our dinner table, it will be a complete disgrace. Right. And so if the truth be told, I can only imagine what Joe Cintro say at his dinner table with his white counterparts. I can only imagine what the mayor say to Anna Cruz when they sitting in there after they see this show tonight and say, that old black man, but probably don't call me that. I can only imagine what Luis Vieira would say when he walk around and he's sitting at the table with his family and his colleagues, and none of them look like me. So let's not do that. And we often sit here and pacify and play these games because they are scared and afraid of the retaliation of the mayor.
You know, how can you read that? Like Luis Vieira said, he's a lawyer. Again, he's a lawyer. How do you read the 349-page report and then those sections that I just chronologically went through? How do you go through that and come to the conclusion that Orlando Gudes is guilty? Because the conclusion that I went to was it's a political hit. That looks like a political hit to me. Does it look like that to you, Stephanie? Or is it just me?
You muted, Stephanie.
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted, Stephanie.
You're muted.
I'm sorry. Probably so. But, you know, I'm not a mind reader. I just watch.
I don't say it's a political hit. I say he black.
Oh, okay.
I say he's black. I say he's a black man that refused to bend and fold at the drumbeat of our mayor and the rest of city council. And when black people stand up with their knees and act like they got a crotch, they have to go through what typically others don't have to go through. When
well,
you're a black
I understand, but
you
like
got to deal with extra stuff.
Based on the facts, 2020, matters closed. Summer of 2021, she takes the lead. The doctor contacts HR. She doesn't contact HR. HR contacts her and says, hey, let's talk again about the matter that's closed. And at some point, months after that, she's like, stop. She wanted off that train. And isn't it incredible? She had another attorney, who was going to make a press conference. And all of a sudden, Ethan Loeb, who's the same attorney that sued John Dinenfelder, is the same attorney for her.
Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, that's why when they continued to hassle her about making this claim and she wanted off the boat, but then that's why the mayor can make an executive order to give her $200,000 as a thank you gift. Thank you for putting your family and your child in this humiliating situation on behalf of us because we wanted to take Gudes out. So here go your check for doing what we told you to do. Kudos, ma'am.
And then look at this. Let's go ahead and share real quickly, and we're almost done here. But this is an article that came out during this whole fiasco. Tampa, April 6, 2022, creative loafing. The conference occurred as tensions rise between the administration and city council. Now Jane Castor, she always tells the truth. She's super honest, like Honest Abe Lincoln. She starts fighting with Charlie Frago, which from the Tampa Bay Times, who usually gives them good coverage. During the meeting, a reporter asked why the administration had moved away from its pursuit of the Gudes accusers' claims in 2020 and then revisited the case in August of 2021, as reported by the Tampa Bay Times. As a matter of fact, that headline in the Tampa Times was untrue. So she's calling a reporter like what Trump does, fake news. She's a Democratic or Republican. People don't know. She turned Democrat right before sometime after before she, I suppose, was
They all did.
thinking that she was gonna run for mayor, and knowing that Hillsborough's blue, she switched parties because she was a lifelong Republican. But she does the whole Trump fake news, fake news. It would nuh-uh. What you're saying is not true. What I'm saying is true. The headline read: City of Tampa had previously dropped a misconduct case against Orlando Gudes, and all of a sudden, boom, it's back. It's back. It they're pursuing it now. Why? It was closed, and you have the complainant saying, "Stop it! I don't want to do this. Leave me alone, please stop." She's begging, "Please stop." And Tampa Bay Times, it wasn't just creative loafing, but Tampa Bay Times reported on that. City of Tampa had previously dropped a misconduct case against Orlando Gudes. The council member's attorney said he wasn't aware of a previous probe into issues raised by a former aide.
And I
Okay.
say one thing, kudos to Orlando Gudes, because had he done what they wanted him to do, and that was to fold, he would not be our city council today. Kudos to him for standing strong and saying, if let's the process speak for itself.
Yup.
And he went through the process and it vindicated him, because that's what happens when you just go through the process and not fold. I celebrate him for that. And
Okay.
clearly we know that they're going to raise up a DuBois in District 5, that they're pruning, that they're raising, that they're feeding, that they're going to fund to run against him in this upcoming election. But I pray our community stand strong, get behind him, support him for re-election, because you need somebody in District 5 that's not afraid to fight for African American people.
Okay.
The community in East Tampa is in trouble. And if you remove a real true fighter for African Americans, we are going to be distinct in just no time.
I'm going to try to read this quickly. In the fall of 2020, a legislative aide for city council member Orlando's approached city human resources officers with a complaint about her boss. The aide relayed his tendency to bark at her and treat her harshly. She noted an incident in which Gudes had made a lewd comment after stopping by her home to pick up work documents. The city found the matter to be resolved in November 2020 after the aide said she had talked over her concerns with Gudes. 9 months later, Tampa would rekindle the investigation, with city officials reaching out to the aide twice while she was on an extended absence from work. They would turn for assistance to an outside attorney who concluded after another 7 months that Gudes had created a hostile workplace by repeatedly taking in demeaning and misogynistic fashion to the aide. Now, that's $100,000. That's what that report cost Tampa taxpayers. A lawyer for Gudes, Ryan Barrick, said his client only learned that he was the subject of a prior investigation when last week's report was released. He criticized the city for not telling Gudes about the previous investigation that had been dropped with no action. Okay, so you have that was already dealt with. She herself, he never even found out about it. Orlando Gudes didn't ever even find out about it. You know why? Because this aide who was friends with him prior to working for him said, you know what? It's all good. Me and Gudes talked. We're good. I don't want to do nothing. And her work situation, as I pointed out in the documents of the report, she was fine. She was doing her job, not saying anything. There's nothing amiss. July, boom, she drops the ball, gets stressed out. And so, look, here's the thing. This is bad. Jane Castor, man, vote her out. Somebody run against this woman.
They won't do it. They
Do you
won't
not-
do it. And you know, at the end of the day, Jane Castor, I say this. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed on the private hits. I'm disappointed because I expect Mayor Castor to be a city mayor that's going to look out for all communities. She was very adamant when she ran for office on how she will be a big strength to East Tampa. She had East Tampa in her mouth a whole lot. And it's so crazy how she have neglected East Tampa now. And I stand with Orlando Gudes. I'll keep saying it because he has done what many have been afraid to do. And that's stand 2 feet on the ground, flat-footed, face-to-face with the mayor, and demand that East Tampa no longer be looked over and keep speaking truth to power, because that's what we need.
Joseph Citro has a challenger, Alan Clendenin.
And we're praying Alan Clendenin to win this race. Joe Citro, they're going to support Joe because they need somebody. Joe Citro, all he want to be is an elected official. He don't care who face he step on. He don't care who knee he put in their neck. He can care less. All he cares about is having a position called city council. And whatever they tell him to do, he's going to be just like Jesus' mother Mary. They said, whatever Jesus tell you to do it when they ran out of wine. Whatever Mayor Castor tell you to do, Joe Citro, do it. And he going to do it well.
And he was a Republican, really. He's really a Republican, yes?
Bonafide. He sat at tea and conversations and looked every black person in the face and said he will not support the chief because the chief need to go back through her training. She need to be a police officer before she can be a chief of police. He will not support it. And then the minute he heard from the mayor, that man shift that narrative and say, you know what? I want to let you know, Pastor Piggot, I'm going to support her for chief of police because I spoke with the mayor and the mayor is... Get yourself together. We voted for Joe Citro. We voted you in. The mayor didn't appoint you. We voted you in. And I pray to God, Alec Clendenin, when he told me he was running, I got it on my phone. I sent him a message and I said, if you running for that seat, are you bought by the mayor or do you have a spine that you can separate your personal relationship with the people's desire? Because when you vote, we want an advocate that's going to support what we need them to do for us, not the mayor. Now, if you only need the mayor, leave us alone. Stay out of our community when it's election time and sit at the city hall and ask the mayor to vote for you.
Okay, so I want to put a plug in for La Gaceta. You got to get this La Gaceta. I get my copy every Friday in my mailbox. It's amazing. This is so before we went on live, me and Stephanie was reading what came out today, which I can't wait to go read it. But this is an edition of March 11th of this year. This is what it says as we heard it, which is I love this publication, and if the only thing it had was as we heard it, I'd buy it. We hear Tampa City Councilman Joe Citro is wavering in his opposition to confirming Mary O'Connor as Tampa's police chief. Citro was the first councilman to say publicly that he would not vote to confirm her. Had Citro not made that statement to the media, it is unlikely the opposition to O'Connor would have gained momentum. If Citro flips now, he'll have much to explain as the situation and facts have not changed since the mayor first made the announcement. So, in other words, Citro's a pander. He panders to the black community. He went in there and said, oh, no, I won't do that. I won't get this woman who had her hand in the formation of the biking while black and the renting while black. She has her DNA in the development of those programs. And he went to the black community, said, oh, no, I'm not confirming her. And then he did a 180.
He sat there the Saturday before the council.
He's a pander. He panders. He panders. He wants to be
a liar. He's a liar. He's a liar. He's a manipulator, and he's a trickster. And he needs to be out of office. He's a liar.
He needs to go maybe focus on cutting hair.
That's it. And start with his own.
So, Stephanie, you have anything? We're going to be hitting the 1 hour mark. And so
I think the chief issue showed the schism between city council and the mayor's office very, very well defined. That has been going on for years. I'd like to also point out that Gudes' investigation started right about the same time that they filed a lawsuit against Councilman Dingfelder. I don't find that. Don't you find that to be curious that it happens within the same 30-day period?
Same attorney.
Yeah, the same attorney. Oh, go figure. But I mean, as somebody who was named in the lawsuit against Dingfelder, and I've said this 100 times, nobody ever asked me, "Hey, did you get emails from Lynn Dingfelder's email account?" Oh, wait, me? No, never. So, I mean, but nobody ever asked me about that. They just assumed that it happened. And so how do you prove something didn't happen like that without asking? I mean, seriously, nobody ever asked me. You would think that somebody would pick up the phone and go, "Hey, Poyner, we think that you received emails from Councilman Dingfelder via Lynn's personal email account." But it never happened. Nobody asked me. I'm a lot of things, but liar isn't one of them because I can't remember my own name most of the days.
So this with tonight's presentation with facts, not Haiti's opinion, facts with their own report that they paid $100,000 from the taxpayer monies. With that report, I've shown, this appears to be nothing but a motivation to hurt Orlando Gudes, whether because he's criticizing or because of the color of skin, I don't know. But you know what? This happens in fascistic, oppressive regimes like the ones my parents fled from. This kind of thing is ugly.
Because we had to go, not a control. We had to go off and find a police chief on retirement. We had to find a police chief on retirement who had done retired from the force because we didn't have nobody in Tampa Police Department that can lead our department to victory. Then you have begging, this young woman advocate in Silver Oaks begging, "Can we please get some money? Can we please get somebody to come and give us some money to take the kids on for the summer? They got rats. They got mold in the house. It's a mess. We just want some help, please."
You know where I was today? I went by Silver Oaks because I was riding shotgun with Denise Pate. You know Denise Pate.
Most definitely.
And she took me around Tampa, and I saw dilapidated homes that need work. And I thought, I told her yesterday the headlines showed that Jane Castor negotiated to get property tax surplus, 40 million, to go to raises of police officers and fire workers and blue collar workers. Okay, so some of them, if they're in that, good for them in that area, good for them. But what about affordable housing?
Well, you got
the rental crisis. She's hooking up her people.
Well, clearly we could tell from this lawsuit that you don't need permission. If she want to do it, she can get it done. If she wanted to give some money to get the kids out of Silver Oaks for the summer, she would have wrote the check because clearly she didn't need no approval. All she said was write $200,000. Just give it to them. They'll be okay. Hey.
You know what? I call her the tyrant of Tampa. She's a tyrant. Her actions, behaviors demonstrate that. I would urge, and I'm going to start broadcasting in Spanish to the Spanish community, don't vote for this woman. The unfortunate thing is it doesn't seem like anyone's going to challenge her. That's unfortunate. But her behavior, her conduct as an official demonstrates the kind of thing that my parents and people flee from in oppressive governments, regimes. That was not supposed to be something that we shouldn't be experiencing that here and there.
I got to be honest now. I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I do not like the decision of how the mayor has assassinated and tried to attack Orlando Gudes. I'll make that clear. But I got to be honest now, Haiti. Don't hate me now. But I actually like the mayor.
You can like whoever you want. That's fine. I'm not. Hey, I'm about freedom. Hey, you're still cool with me. You're still cool with me. You'll see, and I like your honesty. That's fine. I don't listen. I don't dislike her. I've never really interacted with her.
Right.
But I don't like this. When you see this, this is problematic.
I
To
agree.
use your power to do
Mhm.
this kind of stuff, that's a problem.
I agree.
That's a problem. Look, Arthur Green. Where's the apology for Arthur Green? You just handed out.
$200,000. Where's his check? We could have been
No,
fixed
he
that so
settled.
long ago.
The family settled, but it took 8 years, and there's no apology. There's no apology. So anyway, it's 8.
Well, that was because that was on her watch.
Yeah, it's 8:55. 5 minutes left. We're gonna hit 1 hour broadcasting live. What do you want to say? Anything to wrap up and to wish everyone a good evening and an enjoyable Friday evening and rest? Stephanie, do you want to say anything to wrap up and bid everyone nighty night?
I'm excited. I think somebody commented yesterday that the mayor was going to present the budget herself in person before city council next Thursday. So that'll be only the second time that she's been over there since she became mayor. I'm excited that I'd love to see her offer an olive branch, and let's see if we can't get it together and make things happen for our city. I'm excited that we have this new housing deal coming up. They're going to try and get it on the ballot, and I'm very excited to see that. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm very excited to see it. I'm excited to see that city council is leaning on it, and Councilman Gudes busted through on that. He would not take no for an answer. He is going to push in on it to the point where they're going to have to let him where they have to listen to him. He made that happen, and nobody else on city council did that but Councilman Gudes. So I mean, I'm thankful that he was able to finally push in on getting some kind of help. And even if it doesn't stick, at least he took it to the table and he said, hey, y'all eat it because we're going to do this. And I'm so excited that he did that. And so I think in the next 30 days, we're going to see a lot of interesting interactions.
I saw the skill center today, the one that's going to be built. That whose idea was that? That's a good thing. I'm hoping. Yes, for that area. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Was that Jane Castor?
No.
No, I don't have any idea who's
that wasn't Jay Castor. Jay Castor had nothing. The skill center been there before the mayor became mayor. That's
okay. So that was already in the works even before she became a mayor. Okay,
yes,
very well.
That was Celeste. Celeste and her husband and that group. They have been raising money. They're still raising money. They're doing that. That's a nonprofit organization that has really been involved in the community. Yes, she may most likely get some kind of assistance, but that is not a mayor thing. The mayor thing is that the NBA executive just bought an $8 million+ high rise over at the Waterworks condo, an $8 million condo over at the Waterworks down in Channelside. That's the mayor's thing.
Okay. So you want to say anything else for us to sign off to? Elvis?
No, I just thank you so much for all that you do, bringing light to these things, because I know at the end of the day, you talk about all issues. It wasn't too many years ago I was in the hot seat. So I respect you greatly for being very unbiased and dealing with everything and keeping these things for the forefront of our community. And I say to our community, whoever watching, please let's get behind Orlando Gudes. Please let's support his reelection. Let's raise money for him. We need an advocate. And it's so sad that we have to have a black seat and only one black seat. We need someone that will fight for our community. Even if we don't like how he's fighting, we need to know that he's going to advocate on behalf of the black people in East Tampa and the black people all over Tampa, because black people are not just in East Tampa. They're black people everywhere in Tampa. And so we want African Americans to have a seat at the table, and not just have a seat, but we want to make sure that we're not there because you got these, I can't use the word I want to use, but you got you all fill in the blank. You got the yard folks, and you got the house folks. And so long the mayor has been teaming up with the house people. and the yard people out here working on the ground. And so I say that we want to stop that. We want to keep supporting Orlando Gudes, and he can continue to bring liberation to our community.
All right. And don't forget tomorrow, Tea and Conversation candidates roll call.
I'm on my way.
It's going to be held at Al's Finger Licking Good Soul Food, 2302 East 7th Avenue in Ybor City.
All candidates, Pastor Elvis Piggot is coming.
Thanks for joining me, Elvis. Thanks for joining me, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Haiti
Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
Nice, Stephanie.
Have a great night.